Hello everyone, welcome back to my Journalism of the Heart news channel. The story for today is Tully Smyth has been a popular name in the Australian influencing space for some time now, ever since the stunning and talented model burst onto our screens in 2013. That's right, it's been nearly 9 years since Australia first got to know Tully on Big Brother Australia, where she began a short relationship with fellow housemate Anthony Drew, causing quite the stir at the time. Their confusing dynamic began in the Big Brother house, which Tully entered while still in a relationship, meaning her romance with Drew had her copping the scorn of the nation. But we've been captivated by Tully since then anyway, and as she gears up to head back into the Big Brother house in 2022, we're looking back at the few people we've seen capture her heart. Talia Farron. Tully was famously in a relationship when she entered the Big Brother house in 2013, with another woman named Talia Farron. Despite her relationship status, sparks flew between Tully and fellow housemate Drew, and as their flirtation grew into a romance, audiences became increasingly confused about Tully's girlfriend back home. And while we'll get to her relationship with Drew soon, it was Tully's existing love that saw her land in hot water with the public, despite the end of her relationship with Talia causing great personal turmoil for Tully alone. "I came home to an empty house, and I had nothing," she revealed to Tim Dormer on the Popcast podcast. "My partner had left me, taken most of the furniture, taken our dog," she said. "My partner had left me, taken most of the furniture, taken our dog. Something that I have never really spoken about publicly, just purely out of, funnily enough, respect for my ex, is that we weren't in a good place prior to the show. I probably should have had the balls to end it before I went in," she reflected at the time. Despite the harsh nature of their breakup, with Talia watching Tully's tryst with Drew play out on television, the pair seemed to have found a way to stay friends. In 2018, Tully penned a heartfelt message to Talia on her birthday. "There isn't a day that goes by that I don't feel thankful to have you in my life," Tully shared. "You have continued to open my mind and eyes to the world around me whilst simultaneously keeping me grounded, and I am in awe of the amazing person you have become." Anthony Drew. Tully admitted that her attraction to Drew was pretty instant when she met him in the house. "In walks this 6 inches 2, tall, dark, handsome, bright blue eyes, and honestly, hand on my heart, Taylor Swift's song Trouble had just come out before we went in the house and that **** started playing in my head," she said of her first interactions with Drew. While Tully's attraction was instant, Drew didn't feel exactly the same to begin with. "She was loud and complained and cried," he said of Tully at the time. Despite this, the two struck up a pretty hot and heavy romance, which came to a brief halt when Tully was evicted from the house. Upon her eviction, the show's psychologist had to tell Tully that her girlfriend had left her while she was on the inside. "We got caught up in it, and before we knew it, we had fallen apart." And now single Tully and Drew were able to give things a go once they'd left the house, but their relationship didn't last that long in the end. "It was a lot of pressure living in different states, and the regular couples issues seemed to be magnified being out of the house," Tully said of the split. However, there doesn't seem to be any hard feelings between the pair, with Drew going on Tully's podcast, Too Much Tully, in 2021 to talk about their fleeting dalliance. "We got caught up in it, and before we knew it, we had fallen apart," Tully admitted on air. "I'm forever going to wonder if we would have worked out. I think that will be one of my life regrets," she said. And with Drew entering the Big Brother house alongside Tully again in 2022, we're definitely watching closely to see what happens. Michael Staples and Flume, entering the rumored category. We're thinking Tully entertained a few brief flames between the end of her relationship with Drew and the one she has with her current beau Daniel Parisi. When Love Island winner Anna McAvoy announced her new relationship with Michael Staples last year, gossip website So Dramatic was quick to point out that Michael was actually an ex of Tully's. However, there's no digital evidence the pair had much of a relationship together. Another report from So Dramatic actually also had Tully on a date with Australian musician Flume in the Melbourne suburb of Windsor. Tully didn't deny the report, but it's pretty clear not much came of the brief encounter the two shared, with Tully seeming to remain single up until she debuted her latest love. Daniel Parisi. After years of following her closely on social media, fans of Tully were stoked to see her find love. She debuted a new relationship in December of 2021, sharing a blurry mirror selfie of herself smooching a tall, dark and handsome individual. You were worth the wait. Heart, she captioned the photo. She introduced him properly 2 days later with a few more photos. Kept you quiet for 6 months, now it's time to celebrate you. Thank you for being the most kind, thoughtful, witty, patient little weirdo. I love you, White Heart, she shared. The new couple copped a little bit of backlash over the summer however, when Tully decided to move in with Daniel while he was COVID-19 positive. You were worth the wait. After much anxiety and deliberation, I literally called 3 people to ask their opinion. I've decided to pack my stuff and move in for the week to hopefully catch it sooner rather than later, Tully wrote on Instagram. However, her "sooner rather than later" comment later needed a bit of clarification. I do not in the slightest think it's cool to get COVID. In fact, I'm very anxious about it. Like everyone else, I've spent the last 2+ years doing everything in my power to try and avoid it, she later said. However, unfortunately my partner was already positive so it's not looking good for me, she shared. Chances are I already have it and by coming here and isolating, I'm less likely to give it to my housemate. That is all for today news. Please make sure to leave your comment and subscribe the channel below for more news update. Thank you for watching.